We're here to send a very strong message about corruption and maladministration. And Motlasana Municipality, Klerksdorp, used to be one of the motor and industrial hubs of our country. And walking through the streets today and just seeing the potholes, the closed shops, industry that's moved away, shows just what happens when you have a government that does not care about the people it's meant to serve. And we've got to do something about it. And my message today was, if we want to crush corruption, if you want to get rid of maladministration, if you want to end cadre deployment, if you want to make sure that you're standing up to have a city that's actually creating jobs, not losing them, then you've got to vote for the DA. Because the DA is the only party with a clear track record of service delivery and the only party that can turn these things around.
John, tell us, why was it so important for the DA to lead an anti-corruption march, especially here in the Northwest?
Well, because there's nobody else standing up for the people of the Northwest. The DA is by far the biggest party that has got ability to be able to break the sound barrier and be heard, and to share that message with as many people as possible, that in this election there's too much at stake to stay at home, and that you need a strong party. A strong DA can save South Africa. A strong DA can rescue South Africa. A strong DA can build a better future. And that strong DA can only be there if people vote for it. You need to vote for the DA in this election to make sure that we are strong enough to be part of a provincial coalition here in the Northwest, but also to be the anchor of a national coalition at a national level to make sure you have stability, you've got the policies, you've got the people and the experience that the DA brings of turning places like Matlosana around, of being able to turn provinces around like the Western Cape, and of being able to make sure that the people come first.
Absolutely. You just spoke about being the anchor tenant at a national level. What is the multi-party charter stance on corruption?
Well, the multi-party charter stance is very clear. It's one of our key foundational principles: zero tolerance for corruption. We're not going to allow big cheeses to get away with crime and corruption. Under a DA government and under a multi-party charter government, you will see criminals where they belong, and that is in jail. So if you want to get those criminals out of Parliament and out of the union buildings and into jail in orange overalls where they belong, well then you, South Africa, need to vote for it. You need to support us. And I promise you, Cyril Ramaphosa will never put the corrupt in jail. Cyril Ramaphosa will never deliver water. Cyril Ramaphosa will never deliver jobs. But I will, and the DA will, and we have a track record of doing it. So use your vote on the 29th of May, just a month away, and use that vote in a way that it will really count, by making sure you get behind the DA and make sure we can bring the change that you deserve and give you a government that will be working for you, not against you.
Absolutely. John, people often say that corruption is a victimless crime, but that's not true. What would you say to those people?
Absolutely not. Corruption is very much a victim-centered crime, and the victims of corruption are the South Africans sitting at home without work. South Africans sitting without water and sanitation, without access to jobs, sitting without a decent education, getting terrible health care, sitting with their money being stolen every single day by politicians, making themselves richer and more and better off while our people are suffering. So the victims of corruption in South Africa are the 30 million people who live in poverty in this country. And those are the people. I'm on their side, and I'm going to work tirelessly to give them a voice in this election. And if they elect us into government, we will be their strongest ally, lifting them out of poverty and into opportunity.
Absolutely, John. Let's cast our mind to the 30th of May. We come into government. What are we doing to end corruption?
Well, what we're going to do is going to bring the scorpions back. We've got a bill that's ready to go to the floor of Parliament in the first 100 days that will reintroduce the scorpions, be able to bring them back in a multidisciplinary way so that we can start arresting the criminals that need to be arrested, and we can start with the big fish. It's always the small fish that get the focus. We want to go after the big fish, and that's what the scorpions were disbanded for originally. They got too close to the politicians at the top of the ladder, and so they kicked the ladder out from them and disbanded them. We will bring them back within the first year of a new parliament to make sure that we can set them after those criminal elements at the top who have abused our people for too long, who have manipulated our people for too long, and we're saying never again in South Africa under our watch will the big fish get away with stealing the millions and trillions and billions of dollars that they do every single day worth of our GDP. The hundreds of thousands of rands every day in municipalities like this. They're millions and trillions of rands from state-owned entities. That money needs to be spent on the people, on improving services, on hospitals, on teachers, on nurses and doctors. That's what we need to be spending that money on, not on improving the lives of politicians.
Absolutely, I agree with you completely. John, you've been a very busy man. You've been crisscrossing the country, speaking to many people on the ground. What is the message you're getting from the people on the ground?
I think people are excited. I think there's definitely a sense that change is coming. I think there's a sense that this is a crossroads election, that there's a lot on the ballot paper. I think many people have realized over the last 5 years that they may not have been interested in politics in the past, but it's been very interested in them. It affects every aspect of your life, from the water in your taps, to whether you have power in your home, to whether you've got a job, to the quality of education your children are getting, to the type of healthcare you get. People are realizing that now, and I'm really excited with the reception we've been getting. The Rescue South Africa tour has been filling halls, thousands of people, talking to them, coming to listen to our message of hope and change, and about how we have a plan to rescue South Africa.
Yeah, absolutely. John, before I let you go, because I'm sure you have a very busy day, for the first time we are seeing the ANC really polling almost below 38%, if I'm not mistaken. That could mean a big win for the DA. What is your message to the voters at home, and especially those in the Northwest?
My message to you is don't stay at home. We have a chance in this election to really get over the line with a great result. That will only come about if every opposition voter gets up on the 29th of May and gets out to those polls and make sure they put their vote in the box. In a democracy, your most powerful weapon is your vote. On election day, everybody's vote counts for exactly the same. And on election day, you can deploy that weapon in the service of change, hope, and opportunity by putting a big cross next to the DA and putting that vote into the box so that we can get the ANC out and we can get the DA in, so we can get our country working again, we can get our people working again, and we can get our economy working again. And that is something that everybody should be excited about. There's too much at stake in this election to stay at home. Make sure you come out and vote for a strong party with a track record of getting things done, and a party that can deliver for you and your family.